Sarah Pochin, the new Reform UK member for Parliament, is a little bit of a firebrand. She goes on television and she tells people what she thinks, and for that reason, Reform people like Sarah Pochin. She speaks their language, and more to that, she's extremely good at debating on television. Most of the time, television people, these pundits on TV and MPs are not used to dealing with people that don't have the same things constricting them, namely the woke agenda. And people like Sarah Pochin just walks into the studio and speaks her truth, and then she's on her way, and these MPs do not know how to cope with her. It's very much the same as you see with Nigel Farage. Over time, they get to demonise these people and make them out to be something that they're not. But in each and every debate that I see this Sarah Pochin, she nails these people to the wall and they have no answer, and they end up looking ridiculous, as this gentleman is about to make himself look here.
U-turning thanks to pressure put on the Labour Party by Reform UK. So Nigel Farage has been calling for a national inquiry into the grooming gang scandal. Keir Starmer, even in January, was calling us far right for having those views. How can he possibly defend his situation? Did he really need a report to tell us that we need an investigation into this? We have known that the social contract in this country is broken under this Labour government and also under the previous Tory government. And if I can just say, what you read about what has happened to these girls is absolutely... I mean, I was nearly in tears reading some of the reports about the rapes, the multiple men on single children, you know, being raped. These are our children.
The argument the Prime Minister and Labour was making, though, wasn't it, was that actually recommendations from the previous report hadn't been implemented. Is there any concern that this does delay justice further? We know what's happening.
There is a denial of this, and again, the last government, no, they haven't implemented or put into place those recommendations. And I wonder what the timings are going to be on this latest inquiry. Like you say, let's not push this into the long grass. We need to know when this is going to happen, when these changes are going to be making. But because believe me, this latest ruling was from some time ago. But this is going on now. This is still going on now. We cannot deny it. Our children, white British girls, are being raped by Pakistani misogynistic men, and this has got to stop.
Chris?
I'd say we put votes in Parliament. Reform at every step have voted against us getting justice for victims and support for those victims. That has to be the priority here. Not calling out politics or politics. This is about getting justice.
This does go back, doesn't it? And there has been a pushback and a pushback and a pushback about this kind of investigation to really get to the root of the issue.
There has, but we've been led by the leading experts in this, not politicians trying to get a soundbite. This is by leading people that have done years and years of investigations, speaking to victims, working with the police and other organisations. That's what's come out over the last few days. PM's listening to that recommendation, is enacting on. That's what we want from a Prime Minister who takes it from the experts and leads on it. But, you know, we've got a track record of getting on with this when we've come into government after years of inactivity. That has to be the priority for victims, not dog whistle politics.
Quick response, Sarah.
We know that the other thing that needs to come out of this investigation now is calling to account and making people and charging people for the police, the social workers, the councils that have all been complicit in allowing this abuse of our children to carry on. And why have they been complicit? Because they were too worried about being called racist if they called out these Pakistani men. They were too worried about the social unrest that could result.
On Pakistani men? We know from
You're in denial, Chris.
No, we're not in what I'm saying is, you look at the stats, we know it isn't just Pakistani men.
Oh, my God.
There is white individuals and others with other faiths and backgrounds that are doing this horrific stuff that needs to be brought to justice.
Here we go, we have a Labour politician defending the Pakistani community
Whoa,
because that's
don't
your
put words
votes,
in my
Chris.
no,
That's
no,
your
no, no.
votes.
Well, you'll have a
And
look
you're
at Blackpool.
defending
It's
your
a bit
votes.
different demographic. What I'm saying is,
You can't
I don't hear
deny
about
who it
talking
is.
about everyone else. I'm not saying it's a part of it, but it seems to be the focus, not about all of these. These are horrific individuals, no matter their background, no matter where they're from, no matter their ethnicity. They need to be locked up. They need to feel.
We agree on that.
Justice
They
of the law.
need to be locked up. But you can't deny that the majority of these gangs are Pakistani men that we are talking about, and it has not been... I'm raising it as a Reform MP because you're in denial because it's your votes.
And right at the end there, you get the full flavour of what it's all about. And Sarah Pochin is 100% correct. The Labour MPs of this country are, in my view, covering up some of these crimes by way of not wanting to talk about it, by not wanting to highlight these issues to the general public, that there's a vastly disproportionate amount of Pakistani men involved in grooming gangs. That's just a fact. Statistically, they are highly overrepresented in the figures, given their percentage of the population and given the percentage of offenders within these groups. It's a problem. There is a problem. There's a general problem with, every part, every strata of society being involved in some way with child exploitation. Of course there is. It's always existed. But without any doubt, these grooming gangs in these large places, your Rochdale, your Rotherham, your Newcastle even, there is huge overrepresentation of Pakistani men. And as Sarah Pochin just mentioned at the end there, this Labour MP and most of the Labour MPs that we have in this country are scared of offending their vote. And so what are they doing? They are choosing not to talk about child exploitation for the sake of their job. There's no worse way to put it for those people. Thanks for your time today.